Nigeria implements 6-month ban on raw shea nut exports to drive local value addition. Professor Tony Iridia calls for politicians to prioritize governance over elections. NNPP vice presidential candidate declares political allegiance through quirky metaphor. National Youth Games launch in Asaba with over 6,300 delegates. Hello and welcome to our live news coming to you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Blessing Ogwo. Now the news in detail. Speaking from the ban on the raw shea nut export to Nigeria, the federal government has imposed a 6-month ban on the export of raw shea nuts, aiming to foster domestic processing and boost local industries. Despite Nigeria supplying approximately 40% of the world's raw shea nut, it currently retains only 1% of the estimated $6.5 billion global shea products market. Vice President Kashim Shettima announced the policy, positioning it as a pro-value addition initiative designed to stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and secure raw materials for domestic processing. Analysts estimate the ban could generate $300 million in the short term and up to $3 billion by 2027, contingent on increased investment in processing infrastructure. However, some experts caution that achieving these targets will require substantial enhancements in existing production facilities. They note that the policy may appear at odds with President Bola Tinubu's broader free market reform agenda. Professor Tony Iridia, Chancellor of the University of Communication in Benin City, has called on Nigeria's political elite to focus on effective governance rather than merely electioneering. Speaking on an interview program, Iridia emphasized that addressing the nation's pressing developmental needs, such as public services, security, and economic stability, should take precedence over political campaigning. His remarks reflect growing public frustration with what many perceive as politicians prioritizing electoral victory over serving the common good, particularly amid economic strain and social challenges. Iridia's sentiments, however, reinforce the growing discourse that political legitimacy should stem from tangible public service, not just successful campaigns. Archbishop Isaac Idahosa, the vice presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), described party leader Abiyu Kwakwanso as the man who circumcised him politically. His vivid metaphor underscored the depth of his political loyalty and metaphorical initiation under Kwakwanso's leadership. Idahosa's statement serves to bring back the strength of internal bonds between and within the NNPP. This declaration comes in the wake of Kwakwanso's recent insistence that he had no intention of leaving the NNPP, yet is open to political discussions, a strategic posture ahead of the 2027 general elections. Access Holdings plc has officially named Innocent Ike, the former chief of Polaris Bank, as its substantive group managing director and chief executive officer, effective. This appointment comes after regulatory approval and the follows of the voluntary resignation of Roosevelt Ogbonna from the company's board, prompted by updated corporate governance directives issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Ike's ascent marks a pivotal moment for Access Holdings as it seeks renewed strategic direction under his seasoned leadership. The change also signals the company's commitment to compliance with evolving governance frameworks, underscoring the growing regulatory emphasis on transparency and robustness in Nigeria's banking sector. And from the Zamfara State, a cholera outbreak in Bukuyum district, Zamfara State, has tragically claimed at least 8 lives and infected over 200 individuals across 11 rural communities. The crisis has been magnified by insufficient healthcare infrastructure and the destabilizing influence of armed banditry, which hampers efforts to transport patients to medical facilities. With many victims receiving treatment at home due to challenges accessing hospitals, lawmakers, including Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, are calling for immediate intervention. They urge the Zamfara government and international aid organizations to deploy emergency medical teams and establish dedicated cholera treatment centers to curb the outbreak and prevent further mortality. Coastal surges have wreaked havoc on Apokin, a coastal village in Lagos, destroying homes, eroding ancestral tombs, and even swallowing local landmarks such as the Chief's Palace. Environmental advocates blame decades of shoreline degradation exacerbated by large-scale infrastructure projects such as deep water ports and industrial dredging for the escalating loss, noting that roughly 80% of Lagos coastal line has vanished over the last 50 years. Despite earlier international commitments under the 2022 Living Lands Charter, no concrete measures has been implemented to protect vulnerable coastal communities. Activists are now demanding enforceable climate action and accountability, warning that without effective safeguards, entire villages like Apokin could disappear entirely. And on the entertainment news, Nigerian Afropop superstar Rema has released an electrifying new single titled Kelebu, his third release of the year after Baby Is It a Crime and Bout You. In a statement accompanying the release, Rema shared how his childhood listening habits, ranging from foreign language songs to vibrant school party anthems, shaped his musical style and remained a direct influence on this fresh track. The single arrives as Rema nears the end of his ongoing world tour, supporting his critically acclaimed 2024 album Haze, which includes standout performances at prestigious venues such as Coachella, Madison Square Garden, and London's O2 Arena. The song Oziba from Haze also earned widespread recognition, landing at number 63 in Pitchfork's list of the 100 best songs of 2024. And the Grammy-winning Nigerian artist Tems has spearheaded a powerful mentorship movement called the Leading Vibe Initiative (LVI), aimed at dismantling sexism in the African music industry and empowering female creatives. Held in Lagos earlier this month, the inaugural LVI brought together 20 women, including artists, producers, and executives, for workshops led by industry stalwarts from Sunny and Universal to artists like Shasha P and Bloody Civilian. The initiative provided hands-on training in technical skills using tools like Isotope, career strategy, and networking, with participants leaving more confident and connected. LVI is supposed to expand to Nairobi and beyond, advancing a vision of positioning African women not just as performers, but as influential creators and decision makers. And in sports, Getafe midfielder Chrysanthus Uche has surprised many by rejecting a high-profile move to Wolverhampton Wanderers, even after both clubs had agreed on a transfer fee reportedly between 17 to 20 million euro. Although he was expected to travel to England for a medical negotiation collapse over personal terms, as the Nigerian star expressed a reluctance to join the Premier League side. Getafe's president had confirmed that Uche was set to leave, lamenting they hard to sell but will be ruining La Liga by continuously selling. Despite this, Uche's decision has pleased manager Joe Bordalas, who is glad to keep one of his key players. As the door remains ajar, Italian club Como has already made inquiries, and with the transfer window closing soon, further developments are still possible. Also on the spot, the 2025 National Youth Games has officially kicked off in the Sabah Delta State on August 29, featuring a massive turnout of 6,382 athletes and officials. This includes 4,961 athletes supported by 635 coaches, 386 team officials, and 400 state delegates, a testament to the growing importance of grassroots sports in Nigeria. Spanning 9 days, August 29 to September 6, the Games will showcase 37 different sporting events, ranging from athletics and football to more niche disciplines and disciplines aimed at broadening participation and fostering talent discovery. While defending champions Team Delta will look to maintain their dominance. Strong showings are expected from Lagos, Ogun, Rivers, Edo, and other competitive states. These games are more than a medal chase, and they have been seen to be a platform for national unity, discipline, and nurturing the next generation of Nigerian athletes. And on the foreign scene, China has announced the extension of anti-dumping duties on phenol imports from the United States, European Union, South Korea, Japan, and Thailand. This move, confirmed by the Ministry of Commerce, will remain in effect for an additional 5 years, ensuring continued protection for domestic phenol producers against underpriced imports. Phenol, a critical industrial chemical used extensively in the manufacture of plastics and pharmaceuticals, has long been at the center of trade disputes. Analysts view the extension as part of broader efforts by China to shield strategic industries amid heightened global trade tensions and protectionist trends. And by maintaining these duties, Beijing is likely seeking to bolster supply chain security and promote local manufacturing resilience, while sending a clear signal to trading partners that such protections may become a long-term feature of its trade policy. And still on the foreign news, here from the China rapprochement as Modi arrives for SCO summit, tensions between India and China has shown signs of easing as Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in China on August 29 for his first visit in over 7 years. Modi is scheduled to attend the SCO Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit starting August 31st, where he will hold discussions with Chinese President Xi Jinping, signaling a potentially thawing in bilateral relations amid growing regional and global uncertainties. This diplomatic outreach comes against the backdrop of U.S. tariffs on India and an evolving geopolitical landscape. Analysts see this visit as a strategic move to strengthen the global South narrative, foster regional security, and ease Sino-India border tensions. With figures like Russian President Vladimir Putin also scheduled to attend, the SCO summit may become a notable stage for aligning positions among major Eurasian powers. We've come to the end of the news. For more news, follow us on all social media platforms, Alive Television. This is Alive News. Thank you for listening. My name is Blessing Ogwo.